Hey everybody, Clinton here with Oval Window Racing. I kind of wanted to show you something here before I threw the old gas tank back in Simon here. If you've been following along, you know I've been upgrading the fuel system here, and I wound up getting a PT FE hose run basically both lengths of the car here. I didn't replace every single hose because not all of the hoses were exactly old. And I did get some. Did get the gas tank back, and I got some something to show you on that. Here, follow me. This is what I've been running. It's a CBT, or some CB Performance. I got the out, and this was the in. I got a cap on the end now, and I actually had a bong welded over here. And my theory on that is, since I'm running the flex fuels, I kind of hoping to mix the fuel a little faster to get the the ethanol mixture percentage to come, I don't know, sooner, like if I change fuel, because it seemed like this, the fuel was just constantly running around, and I wasn't, getting the fuel to mix well. And the other thing I had done, I had my breather hose, I had a fitting welded on here too. Get this light here, that's kind of neat. Volkswagen almost put that little lip on the inner fender well for a fuel line. But yeah, I have it coming out of here, and it runs up along that fender well and goes down along the pan. There's actually a nice little crevice in the pan too. And this side, I got the fuel pump wire. I know my wiring is horrible, from red to yellow now, but use the good old zip ties to keep it from getting tangled into the steering wheel. But what I'm down here is to talk about is the switch I got added. The switch here that's off a Suzuki, like a 98 to 99 Suzuki Samurai. That is actually their neutral safety switch for the clutch. So you can start the car and notice the clutch is on the floor. I'm going to use it for flat shifting. You can see I already have a Hurst roll control installed. That's been in here for years, and that's how I basically do. I've got I'll show you in a minute. Got a button on the old shifter, and that activates this. Of course, I pump the brakes up first and activate the Hurst control, and that's what it was using for launch. Just showing you here, as soon as I get the laptop all fired up, and of course the engine back in the car, you can see Simon's engine still sitting behind me. Hubert over here is keeping an eye on it. But the whole idea is Tuner Studio is actually, I just learned this from a friend, but they've got a flat shift setting in with the launch control, and I'm hoping to be able to somehow figure out how to take advantage of that. But here, let me show you what's inside the car. All right, yeah, let's get into the car here. Oh yeah, oh, wow, watch that, boom. Hey Garfield. Okay, all right, basically the way the car's set up, key on, nothing's really gonna happen because the engine's out of the car, but when I push on the button down here, button right there on the shifter, that actually comes with the Hurst roll control. This red light will come on. Boom. That's telling me that the roll control is activated. Now we go down here, zoom in on it. See that switch? Look how conveniently located that is and how well it works. That is cool. Let's back it up some. Ooh. And then it also activates the roll control. So yeah, that's going to be a little bit of a problem. It's going to require me learning how to drive the car a little differently, because what I normally would do is roll up, push the clutch in just as I activate the top staging light, and then I would pump the gas revs the engine. Pump the brakes several times, and then I'd hit the roll control. And the roll control, that would lock the front tires. So what I'm not going to want to happen is locking or not being able to lock the front tires. So it's going to be a learning curve, and yeah, if you guys stay with me here, I'll see if I can figure this thing out. But the whole idea is Tuner Studio has a flat shift setting in with a launch control. It's actually pretty clever, and I got to thank my friend James. Let's see if I can get a video of his Karma Gear running. He's basically got his stuff figured out, unlike me. Yeah, if the whole idea with the flat shift is Tuner Studio will recognize that, you know, the car's RPM is below whatever you set your launch control at. So it's going to hit that RPM first, and then it's going to recognize when you're over top of that. So you got to set your settings so that your shift setting is over and above the launch setting. And Tuner Studio will recognize that and go to the second, you know, what I would call, I was actually going to set it up as a third step. But basically, if you go actually look, and I'll see if I can find it here in a second when I get the laptop fired up, but you can actually go in and set a third step, and they basically says on there it's more for your burnout. And I actually take advantage of that third step too, because I have a tendency to want to over rev the car when I'm in the burnout box, and I'm going to have to probably put a button on the steering wheel here someplace for just for doing burnouts. But yeah, let me get you know, all this stuff sorted out and the engine back in the car, and we'll go for a test run and see if we can figure this stuff all out and see if I've actually wired it correctly. But it's kind of nice to be able to see that red light come on, because then I know that both switches are working. So yeah, stay tuned. Well, good morning, everybody. We're getting ready to take Simon for kind of the first test drive this year after making all the improvements, well, hopefully improvements over the winter time. A couple of things I've done is basically what we're going to check today is the flat shifting. I'm kind of excited to try this out. I have really no idea where I should be setting it, but we have to get into the old laptop here and bloop bloop and tell the ECU that we are going to be doing some flat shifting. and then we're just going to have to play with some numbers. I think I'm going to set it really low right now, and I'm not really sure if I should be setting it, you know, like at the top of my power band when I shift, or if it should be set, you know, where the power band's going to come back in after I shift. That's all for future fun and games. The other thing we're going to be testing is I shimmed the clutch disc out, and I actually did kind of take Simon, you know, kind of around the little roundabout driveway I have here, and really didn't notice too much difference. We'll cross our fingers and hoping there is some. Otherwise, maybe a new pressure plate in my future here. Probably. Fuel pump is the other thing we upgraded in some of the lines, and yeah, so far I haven't seen any leaks, and we're riding on driven racing oil. So let's get the, I got the laptop booted up here, but I gotta boot up the ECU, so I'll be right back down here. Listen to that fuel pump, snake eater performance. So here's where we're at. We got to go, I think it was an advanced here. Down to launch control. And launch control right now is just set for launch control, and that's what I've been doing. Just hitting what I call the two-step on the line. I'm going to go launch and flat shift. Like I said earlier, I didn't realize that that setting was in there. I got to thank friend James for telling me about that. I figured I was going to have to do the third step. But the third step, which I still kind of want to hook up, that's going to be probably utilized for burnouts in a water box so I don't over rev the engine. I have a habit of liking to do that. So I think we come down here where it says flat shift. We got flat shift arming RPM, so it's going to be over 3,000. I think I probably should set that. I got my two-step set at 3,400. Let's look and see what they say here. Points used the difference between flat shift and launch control, typically set to a few hundred RPMs above idle. Oh, okay. Flat shift hard rev limiter, 4,800. I think that's where I'm going to leave it. Now let's go down to 40. 4,250. Sounds like a good number. And cut fuel above 9,000. Well, hopefully I don't see that, because I think I got the master rev limiter set about 8,500. And yeah, we burned it. It's not saying anything about doing a hard key restart. Oh, yeah, it is. Okay. If you see back here, it says that we must reboot the ECU. Rebooting ECU. Wait for it to boot up. That took forever, but there we are. We are live. So let's hit burn a couple more times, even though we don't need to, and close out. Now we got to warm Simon up here. I want to get them idling. I got to go around and just double check the lug nuts because don't want to lose any of those. Done that before. It's no fun. But yeah, let's do a cold start. Let's go. Another thing I did, I forgot over the winter, was I changed the shifting coupler and still kind of getting used to it. And this clutch. One of the other things I got to worry about, see, I can't find first gear, is potholes. It's amazing how many potholes show up after the winter. Shifting's kind of feeling good. Other coupler in there, that's hard to get used to this one. Starting to get the oil warmed up here. Figure out how to get out of this neighborhood. Hissing underneath the dash. This is something I gotta work on here. I gotta make sure I don't have that clutch pushed in.
Well, that just happened to be third and fourth gear slider hub Woodruff key. Giving up. Rest in peace, little fella.
Looks like I got a couple more test drives in order. Made a really funny noise when I shifted into third gear. And then when I took it out, I couldn't find my gears until I slowed down, so I'll stop the dad up. It's not going to help me with the transmission, but yeah, kind of a first kind of a successful run here. It seems like the flat shifting is going to be working. It's going to take me a couple more times to get used to shifting with the foot down on the ground and the new coupler. But yeah, let's hope I didn't damage anything here. Maybe I just missed the gear and grounded a little bit before it went in. Don't need to be pulling a transmission out. I got sick summer coming up here in June, and today is we are into April now. So yeah, May and June, yeah, that'd be cramming if I got to do some transmission work. But yeah, until next time, keep shifting those gears, keep cruising, and always enjoy the ride. Let's get out of here.
Before I was just another guy